We got
as a quick
Varnanas versus
note.
Cameraman. This was a week 7 match in Platinum. So who knows which week it actually happened on.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, and this was now Cameraman has been having a pretty rough go of it in Platinum. He has not managed to win a game yet, or even draw. It's just Platinum's kind of tough, I guess. And also he's just been, I think, busy and hasn't been able to play all of his games, so that hasn't helped.
Yeah. Platinum is a division where not many games happen. And as a result, as you're kind of getting into this late season area, you're kind of worried about, am I going to end up in a hazard match? Am I not? Especially if you're pretty much anyone except, I forgot exactly who's at the top of Plat. Let me check.
Yeah, I don't know.
If
Who could be
if
at
you're
the top
anyone
of Platinum?
except our host here,
Yeah.
our lovely host.
Yeah, who is at the top of Platinum? Oh, is that then me? Whoa. How'd that happen?
Then you're kind of wondering, am I going to end up in a hazard match? And this is a game that can potentially determine something like that.
Yep. And actually, and Varnanas, actually, she's been doing quite well this season. She could possibly be second place, unless Flappy Davis has something to say about that.
Yeah, if we want to get into scenarios, it's I think it comes down to Varnanas is going to be playing Drawn and I'm playing Drawn. So Drawn has a particularly large role in the rest of this season, and also I'll be playing Cameraman as well. but Varnanas and I, our matches versus Drawn, that's going to be huge. And the thing is, Drawn hasn't played in a bit.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, every once in a while, Drawn just shocks us all. Drawn shocks us all with the fact that he just has the weirdest strategies, because at some point, Drawn developed a separate part of his brain that dedicates itself to Spy Party, because he's one of the most experienced players. I think he is no longer. I want to say he's not actually at the top.
Yeah,
of the leaderboard.
I think Kaylee overtook everybody with the
Lennis streams got him.
Yeah.
Right. But still, over 20,000 games, and so regardless of there's a lot of players that are really rusty, and I think Drawn can still definitely be rusty if he hasn't played very much. But also there's a reptilian part of his brain that can take over and just get amazing victories. Just for context setting, actually, now that we're talking about Varnanas, Drawn's win against Varnanas late last season is what kept Varnanas out of the finals. There was a nearly 3-way tie for the finals of Platinum last season between me, Warning Track, and Varnanas. And it was just because Drawn came out of nowhere with a win against Varnanas that kept him out. If Varnanas had tied, I think Warning Track was out of the finals. If Varnanas had won, or actually, I guess either way, Varnanas was Warning Track was going to be out of the finals. And it was amazing because Varnanas was playing well all season, and Drawn just kind of swung back and shocked us.
I think my most notable memory of Drawn is tuning into his stream for the first time, and he was low-lighting people on Courtyard for, quote, being boring, and it worked. So he definitely has some strategies that work for him, and if it works and it's stupid, it ain't stupid. So
yep. All right. Anyway, we'll see how
we're not
how
casting
this match
Drawn
goes.
here.
We're not casting Drawn here. Anyway,
Cameraman.
Yeah, we got Cameraman and Varnanas, and we'll see. Picks and bans first. Cameraman has the first ban, which is Terrace. This is kind of understandable. I don't remember. This was
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this wasn't. This wasn't. This
so
was
this is still this is new Terrace. But yeah, Terrace is kind of. I mean, actually, I don't know why you would ban Terrace. I wouldn't imagine Varnanas picking Terrace. But maybe just gotta ban something. I mean, you technically don't, but might as well. And Terrace is a map where I think most of us feel like it needs at least an extra 30 seconds to be, playable.
Especially if you're kind of a player who might be a bit rusty and doesn't play all that often. You come back and you see this new map and you're like, oh, what is this? I don't want to play this.
Yep. And then the second ban from Varnanas, High Rise, which I'm not sure if Cameraman is a particular fan of High Rise, but I think Varnanas has been doing kind of targeted bans. When she played me the last game, she banned Gallery, which was which is one of my common picks, and in fact, I was if it hadn't been banned, it would have been my double pick. So she must be doing at least some sort of research. I don't know, or it just maybe because I've been picking Gallery pretty much every set so far.
High-Rise is also just a good map to ban if you are looking to stomp down on upset heavy maps, similar to Balcony.
The way I view it is that you can either ban against your opponent, so you can kind of research, know what maps they're good on and ban them, or you can ban for yourself, and if there's a map that you just despise or don't feel comfortable on at all, just get that out of there, even if your opponent is unlikely to pick it, so you don't have to worry about it.
Right, and the first pick coming up from Cameraman, a map we've seen a lot already today, and we'll see some more, is Library. Once again, double pick for Library.
And I think that Library is interesting. That Library shows up a lot in the double pick stage because it's a lot of people's favorite map, and a lot of people also don't hate the map. So it won't be often banned, and it will be often picked. And so you're going to see it doubled a whole lot. I would love to see some sort of postseason statistics on which doubled maps appeared the most, because doubled maps have to be in that sort of slot where it's not so hated that it's banned, but it's also liked enough that it's first picked.
Yeah, I would imagine Library, Ballroom, maybe Courtyard. I don't know, actually. I think Courtyard's almost more a second pick for a lot of people.
I personally do a lot of double Courtyard, but I bet you're right that that Courtyard kind of both fills the role of being a favorite map that people pick. It's very, very standard, and also something that's it's filler. Sometimes after if you're picking the last map and you're looking over the rest of the maps, you're like, ugh, all these maps are kind of bad. I'll just toss in, or you don't like those maps, you just toss in Courtyard because it's Courtyard.
There's a game of Courtyard Chicken that's kind of played where you're just waiting for your opponent to pick Courtyard. So that's potentially a reason why it's not doubled as much as maps like Library, for instance.
Right.
All right. Anyway, the next pick, actually a pretty interesting one from Varnanas, is Modern.
Yeah. So the thing is, if I recall correctly, Varnanas originally she banned Modern most of the time in the first few weeks, and so I think that the thing is, Varnanas tends not to play many casual matches, at least from my perspective. So I don't know where Varnanas is actually getting her like practice in on Modern, unless it could just be legitimately the Varnanas is from England, and I just don't see them on when they're playing.
Yeah, I don't know, but she picked Modern against me as well, not doubled, but yeah, so must be getting comfortable with it.
And also to note the 2 5 of 8 maps.
Yeah.
Two big maps out of the gate.
Yeah, big maps. Yeah, I mean, I think Varnanas has often been a fan of big maps. Often see Library and Courtyard coming out of her. Not Library and Veranda. Just why I banned Veranda last time. All right. Anyway, and speaking of Veranda, that is the next pick from Cameraman. So we got 3 5 of 8s coming out.
Oh, all of them, the full suite.
Yeah, we got them. If we had one more 5 of 8 map, I bet it would show up here. The last one, but unfortunately we don't. So I guess Ballroom's the next best thing.
Ballroom.
Well, if we're going percentage-wise is pub, right? So I think it's the any 4 of 7 map.
Or Courtyard.
Or Courtyard's for any 4 of 7 as well. So
Yep.
But we do have Ballroom, which is I think this is the largest.
That's the largest
area.
4 of 8 map, I guess.
I think so. It's hard to tell with Gallery, but yeah.
You could finish 5 missions. On Ballroom.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna let's just assume that the spies do 5 missions on this map. Sure,
there was some mutual agreement they came to before the match.
Yeah.
in any case.
All right. Anyway, we'll get going here. We got a lot to see. We got Varnanas starting off as Wheels on Library.
Also, good job. Maybe it was you, Kletos, putting pressure on this match because I get to both cast and do op research at the same time.
Yeah, nice. Oh yes.
2 birds, 1 stone.
You know, I've actually only played Cameraman once so far, and that actually I think I'm good. I don't need to play him again since I'm already locked into first. You know, let you all fight amongst yourselves for second place.
Squabble amongst us for who gets to approach the throne.
Yep. And we'll see how Varnanas does here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, starting with the drink. One of the maps that I least like starting with the drink on, but we'll probably be able to ditch it pretty quickly.
Library has a lot of chance for early hard tells to happen, and early book grabs to happen, and you can just go throw that book in another shelf later in the game. But starting with a drink makes that a bit harder, and Varnanas looks like just going to enter a conversation and start flirting, which is a pretty standard start.
I also want to say that Wheel's drink, it's off screen now, but Wheel's drink just looks like it's empty to me, and looks like Wheel's just faking drinking. Like, or it's the point where maybe Wheels has social anxiety, where people just like sipping. I've definitely done this, where I just kind of interpolate my talking with taking sips out of a cup. But if I run out of something to drink, I'll just keep sipping from that empty cup. You're not stopping me.
Exactly. Looks like finally leaving the conversation. Now drinkless. Even if it didn't have anything in it before, we don't have to hold it. And getting our first set of inspects on the side statues.
And a fingerprint, I believe. So pretty good start. We have progress on a lot of missions. And from one of our calls, so I'm very curious to see how this plays out because Cameraman is pretty well known for being a very aggro spy. And Varnanas, sometimes she's a little bit aggro on the soft tells. So we talked about a little last set, willing to go for really, really early fingerprints and really, maybe not obvious, but aggressive fingerprints and get those out of the way. And then if they get by the sniper, they're in a bad spot.
This is definitely a lot of progress, but it's definitely a lot of time spent also thus far. We have a bug there on the way out of that conversation. So
And
that actually improves our situation a lot.
It does, and I think we got a highlight for... Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Right.
We also have a bullet in our heads.
Was that maybe too quick on the book return shot? I mean, that was definitely too... Yeah, I mean, that was definitely too quick on the book return, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if Cameraman saw that.
Well, I don't know why else Cameraman would take a shot. So the initial highlight, I think, was I don't know if Cameraman knew that that Varnanas had a book. It would be hard for him to see, and that Ambassador joined, and so Varnanas could have got a reverse bug, but then actually didn't bug until later.
Yeah.
And then maybe possible mismemory of the book, but I don't know. I think that it was on screen enough that if Cameraman was paying enough attention, that is far too quick.
Yeah.
And it's not that the animation got broke; it's that there just wouldn't have been enough time, and that's the one that's easier to catch.
Yep, and I mean that obviously, yeah, the bug, animations is nearly invisible, but that that path is pretty suspect.
Alrighty.
Anyway, and with that, Cameraman up 1-0.
Oh, and we get this great thing where the twins are right next to each other, so they're going to be in exact sync for as long as they are moving. It's going to be great.
Nice. All right, let's see how long they stay in sync in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, well, okay. We do get the flirt, though.
Enough. Flirt and leave that window pad pretty quick. Possible bug attempt coming up. Looks like we're going to take it. Comes off pretty clean as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no, pretty clean, good bug animation. Ambassador was in a
In the end,
wonderful spot for that, and it wasn't forced either. Cameraman didn't have to go out of his way that much to actually get to the bug. But
White Purloin, though.
Oh, that was a little. That felt a little greedy to me.
But I mean, that's Cameraman live or dies by his greed, though. So
Yep.
if Cameraman, let's say Cameraman got a green off on that, I'm guessing Cameraman gets a green on that, goes and flirts, tries to do the 2-flirt, and
Yeah.
then goes to center statue, right?
Exactly.
That kind of
It
thing.
just feels like, like you got a bug, you got contact, and you're halfway done with seduce, and you've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Basically, you've got time. Don't
Right.
That has
You don't also need Purloin.
So you have time, but the other side of that is you also have a potentially great rush happening here. And I think that's what Cameraman was looking to do.
And props to Varnanas for shooting, because you can never really tell. Maybe Cameraman somehow snuck by 5 missions, right? And if you think you have a pretty good indication of who Cameraman is, probably Cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, with that, on to the next one. All right, and good to go. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Varnanas back on spy side. Just gonna have another chance to get a spy win past Cameraman here. Neglecting to take that bug despite being a potential bug path.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at that drink again. I swear to God, Wheels, it doesn't have anything in there.
Playing the old art textures. This is a lot at that left set of statues early. And it looks like Cameraman is highlighting for statues, so potentially getting some suspects there. We're in an innocent conversation here, and it's interesting to see how long we're going to wait before we leave. Our ST is at bookshelf, so we're probably waiting for them to land somewhere.
Ooh, and ST might have even come to us. Okay, not quite. All right, we are full minute in, and 30% on seduction targets. The only thing we have to show for it so far.
Mm-hmm. That's not really a number you want to see either, because you've got to hit at least 1 green. Reverse drive-by in the pillar spot we were talking about earlier. And the shot comes off quickly on Seek.
What's that for?
Well, first let's look at the sick bug.
Yeah. Well, I was watching it I was watching it at the time, and it was not visible at all. I mean, well,
Just
partly because
a bit of a hand.
Cameraman was darting around quite a bit.
What's that shot on Seek for?
Maybe it was pillar hiding, or like, I don't know. Like that's a highly behavioral shot at that point, if that's true though.
There's no hard tells showing. I don't think...
Yeah, I do not know.
What was he highlight for?
I think for centers. Wait, no, actually not for center statue, because Seek started at center statue. That might have been suspicious, but when did they actually pick up the...
Did get highlight for center statues, it seems.
Yeah, maybe it was a late center statue highlight.
Oh, wait. How early was Seek at that statue? Did Cameraman have a chance to see that statue? Possibly.
Ooh.
Yeah. Possibly Cameraman could not have seen. Well, actually, I don't know.
Yeah,
He
but
like,
I don't know.
Be on it.
He just doesn't. He just doesn't like Seek. Apparently.
Yeah. There's a fair amount.
Might be a personal thing. I'm not sure. Right. Anyway, Varnanas picks up a win. Where we may never know quite why.
And I also want to be clear to the people watching, sometimes when we're confused, it's not because a particular play was so great or so bad. It's just because it was so particular to what was going on in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll probably, if you ever watch like a stream, they'll be like the normal kind of like, oh, that person's a purloin suspect. Oh, that person picked up statues. Oh, I think this person might have bugged. And that's the kind of stuff we can pick up after the fact. But sometimes there's like, oh, I don't like how that person went from here to here, and they create a story in their head,
Yeah,
and that's really hard to catch.
Yep, I've certainly done
Mhm.
that plenty of times, and just casters are just like, good luck with that.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, and we'll go on. We'll see if Cameraman can recover from that that shot. Some, it could be tilting a little bit. We'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So this is now 2 sniper wins to start it off, and Varnanas just pulled off a spy win. Perhaps not entirely of her own merits. Cameraman helping out a bit with that wrong shot. So this is his chance to bring it back and earn another spy win for himself. Gets an early 51% flirt, which is going to help later, and walks right through that conversation. Luckily not quite seen. Oh, it was for a briefcase, so potentially okay.
Yeah, sometimes on library you can just forgive padding stuff, unless you don't forgive it if it's near ambassador. But sometimes you just forgive stuff.
Yeah.
Zeke going back to that center statue, the one that got him shot last time. So
Wants to get
interesting.
shot
Oh
again.
wait, here we go with the bug. There might have even been a mild teleport there. It looks like there's a little bit of jitteriness.
Completely off screen though. Varnanas was looking at the left side. Oh, crash! Crash comes off. Cameraman
right.
not wanting to die to that purloin again.
So okay, I'm really curious how Varnanas reacts to this. So crash is just something that snipers don't build into their game. Okay, we do get the highlight for at least visiting statues, but reacting to crashes is so infrequent that we don't have a built-in path that we normally do. So like, what do? Now, initially, when you hear a crash, you immediately look and see if you can see the person who did it, right? But if you're a little bit late, then you can just go on a low lighting spree, right? And then you have to make that decision pretty early, because the longer you wait to decide to do that low lighting spree, the less you're able to actually do it.
Looks like Varnanas doesn't actually get that many lowlights. You could at least lowlight people who currently have drinks, but not opting for that either. The only thing I'm thinking at this point is that she's very certain who Cameraman is and just wants to wait for confirmation. Green swap happens at that set of statues on the right, so this is kind of the moment where we'll see.
And it's also with the character
swap?
that Kletos mentioned, where if it's DeVito, it's one of the characters on this map you could actually see the swap animation more easily. It's not going to be blocked by the character's size.
Swap comes off. We have a lot of lowlights coming off, but we're still not certain. And Cameraman has 2 hardtails done at this point. He really just has to flirt. And he doesn't even have to banana bread. He has 1 fingerprint so far, so he only needs 1 more to finish it off.
And I would definitely hope that that's the direction they go.
I don't think finishing with BB here is a good idea. Paths through a conversation again there. 3
he's gonna grab
bookshelf.
it. Oh, it's right before. Oh, that's such a bummer. I don't think Cameraman was. Yeah, here we go. We're going for the double book. And
Shot for it.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually want to look back at that. I think Cameraman was just trying to kill time when they went to book kill. Yeah. There's no way you could tell that unless they were watching from earlier where Ambassador got that book. But just off by a fraction of a second. And the thing is, I think Cameraman could have waited a little bit longer. I don't think they were at the maximum time for the pause before. And if they had waited, what is that? Like almost like half a second more, it would have been an amazing fingerprint. That's just a little bit unlucky, but also a little bit not taking advantage of what the game dealt to you.
Yeah. So that's a very risky play. That's something that I don't think you can get away with after having a crash and a swap come off in that game.
I guess I know the answer to this, but there's a briefcase right there. Why not pick up the briefcase instead of book? Is it just? I mean, I assume
Yeah,
the answer is
That's
panic.
what I'm thinking as well.
The answer is there's too many decisions and too much stuff going on. You know, and you gotta make a choice.
Right. And it's possible that Cameraman tried to and just missed
Yeah,
the
it's
action
possible
priority,
action
right?
priorities got him,
Right.
which can indeed happen with the
Although I'd
briefcase.
assume they would have taken a step first before doing it to pick up the briefcase. But anyway,
and for you, yeah, that was the Amba will slam the book if his personal space meter was depleted somewhere. You know, he just gets so angry.
right.
It's just fed up with everything.
Yep.
So that's going to be a
Yeah, that's-
sniper win for Varnanas.
Yeah, that's
bringing
so
it-
now up. Now she's up 3-1
Mhm.
and going into and that was Cameraman's own pick.
Yeah.
Oh, and Varnanas once again starting off the new map as Wheels. Be our second time as Wheels. I wonder if this is intentional or not. I'm guessing not. But anyway, it's fun to imagine.
Right.
All right. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. You guys both loaded in.
Yep.
Yep.
Right, awesome. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. So not too many people going to bar right away. So that's it.
Mhm.
Okay. So we finally have some people going to bar now. A lot of statue activity over on the left side, and then a lot of book activity. Also, 3 at a
Yep.
bookcase if Cameraman is superstitious.
Doesn't look like he is. We also missed the flirt that we're trying to get there. ST walks away too quickly, unfortunately. And it looks like we're going to grab this book and just walk to an idle conversation. Unfortunately, the double agent joins us, so we can't walk away as quickly as we hope to, I think.
Oh, bummer on that ambassador. I think that the bug would have taken if it wasn't for Jackson walking again and bumping just a little
Sam
bit.
and Danger ruined that a bit for us. Interesting to note that Boots just went statue to statue, and she now has 2 sets of inspects already. And to the bar, so she's a huge suspect at this point, and if Varnanas is on that, then we can get a potential delegate frame going on.
Banana bread.
But decides to banana bread fake, actually, and she gets Lola along with a few others.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure.
unfortunate.
I'm not sure how much weight Cameraman puts on real versus fake BBs, but it's an interesting play. I don't think it was rewarded in this case, though.
Yeah, and I think you're right where Boots, unfortunately, was a big target they eliminated. And Boots also did something interesting. This was after the banana bread had gone off, so there's no way that Baroness could have known this. But she bailed on the drink, right? And that is a wonderful move to do the delegate on it, because it's really suspicious if they see the person not take a drink and then delegate to someone. Taking the list after that looks really, really, really suspicious. But then you're also assuming that Cameron would have been really on top of it.
Varnanas is saying in chat that the DA left that conversation, so not an intentional fake.
Gotcha.
In
I was
any
gonna
case,
say that's actually not something that Varnanas usually does. Is too many fakes.
yeah. In any case, we slam the book in a different bookcase, get microfilm done, and we're gonna go ahead and delegate at the bar. Getting a second flirt here. A fingerprint was on that drink as well, so we have 1 fingerprint in. I think that drink fingerprints are one of the harder ones to track. On Modern, maybe not as much because you're paying attention to who is going to the bar, but
Banana bread.
actually get a low light. The DA bails our conversation for a second time. That's a second fake banana bread, and that brings us back up from a low light to a neutral light.
Okay. And then ST walks out and then back in the conversation on a briefcase, I'm assuming. No briefcase. Yeah, I don't know what set of struggle was doing there.
Briefcase cancel, possibly. Unsure.
Well, but briefcase was at that point pretty far away. But I don't know. I might have missed where briefcase was at the moment.
In any case, we have delegated the purloin.
All right. So at this point, I don't know if we have enough time for inspect swap. if that's what the plan is. If this is fingerprintable though, and I missed it, that would be fantastic.
We have a green swap, and a shot comes off on Twin.
Was Twin the purloiner by chance?
Let's see.
No,
it was danger.
Huh.
But Twin, if now
Twin
Twin was
there
the one
as
that
well?
took before, yes. So it's possible that Cameraman missed that it faded on Twin. Sorry, that it hadn't faded on Twin, and that by the time they checked again, it was gone, and they remembered that Twin had been there, and that Twin was the highlight.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Twin was actually barely out of conversation during the banana bread, but he was pathing right next to Varnas's conversation, so that could just be an unlucky coincidence in terms of thinking that he's splitting from that conversation, possibly.
I mean, they're just looking at what Twin's doing in these last, that last minute or so. It's kind of not doing much.
Yeah.
Feels like there's no reason to shoot until Twin does something else that's actually a mission. But anyway, the Varnanas in a pretty dominant position right now, up 4-1. Gonna need to be some pretty serious shenanigans, or maybe even solid play from Cameraman to bring him back here. We'll see in 3, 2, 1, planet.
I like the order of that guess was either we're gonna need to see crazy shenanigans, or maybe on the off chance, really just solid spy play from
Which
Cameraman.
one's more likely?
But I would say that Cameraman's shenanigans are very top quality play, and I am curious because Cameraman is one of the more able to break a bunch of spy wins off in a row and bring it back. So let's see if that happens.
So we are still AI controlled. Half a minute into the game.
And I'm curious about that on a map like Modern, right? Like that makes sense to me. You can do that on Balcony, for example. Classic spy AI control. AI control for the first minute, double agent, have a high percentage chance of a shot going off, right? On this map, this could be Cameraman might just be trying to take stock of what's going on. Who are the suspects? I wouldn't be surprised if right now we're fully concentrating on who is getting in specs, then goes to bar, and then trying to force them to delegate to us, right? And then by staying on AI control, we're not focused on having to path around, do other stuff, just do normal spy actions.
And having delegate definitely opens up more frame opportunities versus a map like Library or Veranda. So it's a more viable strategy here than those other maps, but still you're putting all your eggs into the basket of trying to get an AI shot. Another possibility is that Cameraman has been rushing, doing a lot of missions in his first 2 spy games, and so maybe he's trying to instill this idea into Varnas's head that he is going to be doing this kind of quick missions for most of the set, and just hoping that that thought forces Varnas into taking a shot this game.
This would be a pretty good banana bread if we took over and just peppered that in there. If we're going to eventually go for a frame, that's the kind of thing is usually on Modern, you're going to have to show 2 hardtails, or at least a hardtail plus banana bread to really reliably get a shot.
We'll see.
Cameraman might actually also be stepping away from the computer legitimately. Like there was a little bit of camera movement before, but Cameraman's not looking at all, for example, to the back conversation. But again, maybe just looking at who's visiting statues and taking notes on it. Or something. Boots also getting her second drink. And before, when Boots came over, we did not decide to do the delegate.
Looks like we won't even be grabbing a drink to delegate, so looks like we might just be trying to stand next to one of them and then go take the purloin ourselves to frame them for the delegate.
That would be function for his play at this point.
Banana bread.
Finally takes control and fake banana breads. Unfortunately, only one conversation has a suspected double agent in it. A highlight general is talking in it, but besides that, not too many other suspicious conversations. And now we have 20 seconds left, and doesn't look like Varnanas is anywhere near shooting. 15 seconds, we're still not doing anything. Cameraman now can't really show anything else because it would mean overtime.
Yeah, no. This is just a calculated play from the beginning. I'm going to put in a banana bread. The thing is, okay, so I like this idea because it cuts against the caricature that we have of his spy play, right? Aggro, 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 aggro.
Yes.
But it didn't show any hard tells. It's so from Varanus' perspective, if there's no purloin and no swap and kind of mediocre contact, let's say, then they'd have to do something like bug and transfer and inspect and seduce and fingerprint or something like that. And that's pretty reliant on the party for you to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved it if he had done a banana bread and then just gone for a purloin, right? And then put pressure on Varanus to shoot. Varanus is a pretty patient sniper, so yeah, I don't know. Calculated play though, like at
Yeah,
least
but
threaten.
one thing I would say, one sort of thing I'll say is a little odd about this is that the time he chose to do banana bread, double agent was at the bar. So the one AI character he knew was a double agent was out of conversation. You'd think he would have at least waited for him to be in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think actually also legitimately, Cameraman might have stepped away from Peter for a second.
That's possible.
Where
Could have been a
it's
quick restroom break. Who knows?
right. Well, and the thing is, I think Cameraman might have done that because I think Cameraman is a intuitive player, meaning that if Cameraman stepped away, that might have been a pretty good self appraisal where it's like, if I'm at my computer, I'm going to take over, I'm going to rush. Like, I'm an addict. I love rushing. I can't help myself. I actually have to be away from this if I'm going to actually do this all the way through.
I don't know.
Because there was a point around like 1 minute and a half in where there was a really nice set of people in conversation that he could have taken over for the banana bread. And I don't think he was paying attention at that point, but because he was so hardcore playing this idle game, yeah, I think that it's an interesting one because it was a straight mind game play.
Yep. Well, and with that, Varnanas is up 5-1. It's gonna be rough for Cameraman to come back from this, but it's certainly possible. We've seen some pretty miraculous comebacks before. Find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And he's shown that he's willing to take really big risks. So that's the kind of thing that if you need to come back from this sort of deficit, you're gonna have to take those kind of like large risks. So, not bad. We'll see. Like it like what are we at? 5-1, 4-1?
5-1 Varnanas, I believe.
So we're at 5-1, and that's
that is correct.
Kind of attitude. That's the kind of attitude you need if you're gonna come back from it.
Willing to try something. Even if that try something is doing nothing, it's a change in his style that may potentially get him a win. Unfortunately, there it didn't.
Right. The thing though I'm still a little sad about that one because I actually like watching Cameraman play on the big maps. So the only thing that bugs me about it is I think that the decision was interesting and definitely a way to shake things up. But it also means I was robbed of seeing a really great aggressive spy play on a large playground, right? So I am curious to see what he does in the next map. We are guaranteed at least to see him spy once more, so that's good.
Yep. Varnanas grabs a book, gets a difficult fingerprint, probably not being tracked considering it's a difficult fingerprint at the bookcase, And the ST walks over to join us, lets us finish our flirt. That's nearly 2 minutes down, though, with 1.5 missions to go.
Although we are probably getting something out of this. We're going to take the drink, and there's going to be immediately 2 people after us that are also going to be taking drinks. So there's going to be a lot of purloin noise in a second here.
Another difficult fingerprint on that drink. Potentially trying for double difficult fingerprints, not earning him much suspicion, but fails that second one. We've joined. We've delegated to the ambassador.
So if we can get rid of our drink soon, we have the possibility of trying to pick up that fingerprint as well.
Banana bread.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's okay. So one of the great things about delegating to ambassador is you don't care if you banana bread when they're there, right? They're already not in the suspect list. Because sometimes you don't want a banana bread when you delegate because that removes the possibility of them actually being the spy. And we're going to gulp and then try to go for another difficult fingerprint, it looks like. Hopefully Rocker decides not to take this drink. That would be ideal.
Unfortunately, she takes it. So we will have to hit a green test to get this fingerprint. But if we can hit it, we just need one more mission. And it looks like Cameraman is kind of in the dark about who could have delegated to the AMBA. Hits the fingerprint.
Wow, there it is.
And
on
now
large maps like this, peppering your game with lots of attempts at second fingerprints or the difficult fingerprints, it's pretty strong because the sniper is going to be hard pressed to remember where the difficult fingerprints are. It's hard enough tracking the first stage fingerprints.
Yeah. How are we going to finish this game, though? We can't do inspects, can't do microfilm. So we're going to need to either bug or rely on a wrong shot from Cameraman. Shoots pearls there.
And that's not unreasonable. I mean, Purloin's gone, Double Agent went off. We're in the last 20 seconds of the game. You're often going to see a shot if the sniper feels behind. And Varnanas wasn't even on the Cameraman's radar, as far as we can tell.
I wonder what. Did Waitress ever go to the bar? No.
Yeah, no. Nope.
You know, whatever. Doesn't mean she couldn't have delegated. Double delegated. She delegated someone to delegate.
It's also interesting that it was a low light before that, the shot. I mean, low light actually even during the shot. So Cameraman might have. It's hard to tell on that one.
All right. Well, anyway, with that, Varnanas locked in the draw. So if Cameraman wants anything from this set, he needs to win the next 5 games in a row. Shouldn't be a problem.
We'll see if he can make the comeback.
Yeah, we'll see.
Starting off on spy side.
Yeah, that's definitely where you want to be. Got a big comeback. Let's find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I hope he takes control of this game because I love Cameraman spy play. So I'm gonna be real sad if we go for another one of those mind game ones.
Oh, he hasn't yet.
10 seconds in.
Oh. I mean, right now there's nothing really to take over for. So
yeah, but I mean, like, think about it. Who would do this twice in a row?
That's true. Also, didn't work for him last
gonna
time.
Win, I think. Like, okay, here we go.
Okay,
Great.
he's taking control, and immediately goes to statues to get one set of inspects, or green swap as well happening. So definitely more aggressive than his last game.
Yes, and I think this is what I want to see because we might be doing something like banana bread and purloin at this time. Cameraman tends to chain hard tells together, meaning that like right now he wants multiple things to be happening in the map all at once. Maybe even a timeout at this point. Let's see if anything goes on. All right, just innocent.
Watch check.
Looks like the swap's not going to be caught for a while. Now, if Varnanas catches it soon enough, we're running the danger. So swaps early can be strong, except for because so many people have it ingrained in them to highlight for statue inspects. If Varnanas catches it as a swap, Varnanas can eliminate all of the non-highlights, for example. Although it looks like DeVito steps in that same statue
Yeah.
after it had been swapped. So even now, 3 people have touched that statue only like a minute or 2 into the game.
Mm-hmm. So Varnanas didn't actually see the swap until Smallman was holding it. So potentially maybe thinks, even if she's suspicious of a green swap, that would be a green swap from Papa Danger, not Cameraman.
And DeVito goes to another set of statues. So right now, DeVito or Smallman.
Banana bread.
But Banana Bread's within that
Banana bread
conversation.
comes
No.
off. Does get the low light on Smallman, so he's no longer a suspect. That actually removes both of the people who visited the statue after we green swapped.
That's really unfortunate, I think, because we a little bit of a shaking, so there might be a little bit of frustration there, or just taking the mouse back. But that's a bummer, because I think Smallman was going to be such a huge suspect in the map. Already a suspicious character, visited 2 statues, including a swapped one. But I mean, all that said, we have had good mission progress. We have if we just do fingerprint and seduce, we're done.
It's interesting to note we didn't actually get our first flirt until about 15 or 20 seconds ago. So we still need 2 more close whites. We are also missing a fingerprint if we want to finish that way, but it looks like we may do microfilm after grabbing this green book. We're heading back for another flirt, so I think the plan might be flirt, slam that book into a different bookshelf, and then flirt again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that because the books in our hands, our options are kind of limited. Now, Seduction Target did go to a pretty far conversation, so I think we might be able to flirt before we go in, which I think is good.
94%, so we can get a far flirt, quick talk, stop talk, and we're going to have to leave if we want to get our last tell. We get neutral it, and Wheels get shot. Don't even have to finish missions there.
Yeah, well, looking like, based on chat from Varnanas, there's a good chance she did not notice the swap until after Wheels was holding the statue. Because that's
really?
I mean, that's like, of all the statues to swap, that's probably one of the best ones, because you really have to, you got to go, pretty much all the way to the left as sniper to get a good look at it.
Mm-hmm. And that back conversation oftentimes can provide a lot of cover for it, even when you're rotated around.
Yep.
So unless you're intentionally trying to check your statues, you might not notice it.
Yep. All right, anyway, Cameraman starting his comeback. Just 4 more to go to nab that draw.
Alrighty.
And we're going into
third big map.
Yep, this is Cameraman's pick. All right, here we go.
Loaded in.
You're both in?
Yep.
Once again, starting with a drink, unfortunately, in 3, 2, 1, planet.
All right, so we happen to be in a conversation right now. Varnanas might wait until we pad somewhere else before taking control. Nope, we do take control. Looks like we're looking for Seduction Target. Although now we step into Double Agent, not the best time. I don't think he's actually going to do it.
I would hope not, because there are many people out of conversation right now. This is the first time we've seen Veranda today. This map is interesting in that it's shaped kind of like a horseshoe. You can't quite see all of it at the same time, but there are angles you can hit where you can see almost all of it, except for maybe that back set of statues.
All right, pretty decent fake banana bread. Unfortunately, DA wasn't in there, but a lot of people still in conversation. A lot of chaos right now. We might just be playing for. Maybe we get a green. No, nothing there.
DA might have left the conversation potentially.
Which would not be the first time that it's happened to her this set.
Happened twice in a game earlier. Looks like we're just going to timer flirt here. Playing another very slow game.
But as you're mentioning about the horseshoe shape of the map, that's one of the things that I kind of wish that there might be a little bit of changes to the cover on this map, because I think you're right that you can see most of the map from a pretty limited curve on the far side of far side of the map. So you can just switch back and forth. On the old version of the map, you had to kind of really commit harder to one side to see everything, and there's really not much you can do. The hanging out on the far, what would that be, the right side of the map as sniper, there's just so much cover that was added on the outside of it that there's just really not much of a point to be there.
Pretty obvious bug comes off. Got an unfortunate bump there along with the wrong arm. Means it's going to be right in front of Cameraman's face.
Pretty risky time to shoot though. A lot of traffic there.
Looks like we were going for just the walk past the ambo while they're in conversation and bug, but they left at the last minute.
And we'll give
Oh,
props
and
to-
that. I mean, I think unfortunately I think I don't think Varnanas was planning on that awkward bump into Swallman.
Yeah.
And that just made it the most visible bug animation you could possibly have.
Unfortunate, because we were about to do some sick bumping off of pearls there at the end as we were shot.
Yeah, and the thing is, actually, Cameraman tried to take that shot pretty quickly. Irish very nearly took that bullet.
Yep. Yeah, that was, and even Seek briefly too for just a split second. He was being targeted.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my
anyway.
already crashed, so I'm gonna take a second for me to get back into there.
All right, huh?
Really?
Yeah, a little error message said something about texture and memory.
Oh, that bug. Were you scrubbing at the end of a replay?
Yes, I was indeed.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it is an early access. This is.
I mean, to be fair, there's actually not that many bugs.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
game.
I've seen games not in early access that are much worse about bugs and stuff.
And that's not just me trying to promote the game. I'm actually legitimately surprised at the lack of bugs in this game.
Yep.
Well,
I mean,
there's only a few ones
less
that, like,
surprised
are really
given the amount of time that's spent on each patch.
Those patches had better be bug free. Nah. But yeah, Cameraman 2 wins in a row. This is how a comeback starts.
Yeah.
All right, so we are on game 3 of Library.
Yep, it is. Yep, game 3.
Hi, Cameraman.
Okay. Cameraman is now. What's it? 6-3. Is that it? Or is it?
Whoops.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, 6-3 because he was down. He was down 6-1. And he's won the last 2. So we'll see. Can he do? Can he win the next 3? Are you ready to go?
Yep. No, I had to jump out again because one thing I will say though that should be in the next patch: automatically sorting by date descending time. Because
I would agree.
Will always assume. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming the code is always descend in highest value, but that's bad for time. Because you're almost always going to want to watch it in chronological order. So all the nice things I said about the game being pretty bug free, blah blah blah, all of my goodwill is erased by the fact that I have to take a couple seconds to remember to click on the date for it.
Checker, fix your game, please.
All right. I mean, we're getting there. We got before time ad now, so things are moving in the right direction. And we got another drink start. This happening a lot this cast in general.
But strategically being poured out by Cameraman, if you notice.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, I've noticed Puppet Danger's a little reckless with his drinks. We'll see how any of this plays into this match. And 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Other interesting stuff about this, like random things, is I actually love some of the plates and the globe on the left-hand side near the green bookcase area. I've actually spent quite a while when I'm like as spy and I don't have anything to do, just looking at those beautiful plates. And that's some of the most interesting random objects of all the maps.
Mm-hmm. John Cimino, the artist for the game, definitely did a good job with Veranda. It was released.
Actually,
I think...
this map was made by Rika.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
This was
This
her
is one of
first
the
map.
few maps that was not made by Cimino. I believe this new art map was released on its own.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Okay.
it was a PAX map, I believe. Yeah, it was
That's correct.
released by itself.
Yeah, it wasn't part of the mega art update, so we actually got to mess around with it a little bit in isolation from the other ones that had been at the time.
Yeah. So I think if you're cameraman, this is the kind of map that you want to be spying on, especially with your style, very aggro. You can get a lot by the sniper on Veranda.
That, and we are Papa Danger, so there's always the nice possibility of a cane side bug. I'm not sure where Varanus is on the spectrum of being super suspicious of Papa or not suspicious enough. I'm a little bit not suspicious enough of Papa Danger, and so hopefully for Varanus' sake, she's a little bit more onto that cane side meta.
Caneside has been nerfed a bit in recent times, so Papa Danger is probably a bit less suspicious than he used to be. Actually gets a low light there. Not sure, not quite sure why.
Long time in that conversation, but it was for the flirts, so a little bit of a risk. Doesn't pay off, but often would. Also, maybe not opting to go for a bug kind of thing. Like if you're Papa Danger and Papa Danger doesn't go near Ambassador for a while, all right, you're probably not the spy. You couldn't resist going inside bug.
Yeah. Gets that blue book
Banana
into the
bread.
red case, finishes microfilm, steps into conversation with the DA, finishes banana bread, and actually a pretty good banana bread. All three suspected double agents are in decently full conversations, so a lot of people have a chance for a real one there.
And the thing about Veranda is it's got some of those really small conversations. So you're right that oftentimes you're going to have a lot of conversations that are active, but not all of them will have DAs in them because you've got those. I don't know how to describe the shape of or the size of them, but they are much smaller than normal size conversations, like say on Ballroom, with the nice hefty size conversation. So you're gonna have much more intimate conversations where you're gonna see more double agents in conversations with like maybe one or two people rather than the big full ones with like 4 or 5.
So the banana bread actually did not come off. It was a fake, but we did get a purloin.
Banana
We
bread.
got a briefcase return, nets us a fingerprint, and an attempt at a bug that didn't take on the way out. So a lot of stuff happening really quickly there, along with a real banana bread. And here getting the second fingerprint. So a very quick finish from Cameraman after idling a long time in that conversation for 2 flirts. And because we're low lit, I think we're going to get away with all of it.
Yeah. And just from my knowledge, I mean, I don't think Varanus would be able to catch this because I don't think I'd be able to catch this. Normally, under briefcase etiquette, should have walked a little bit towards Ambassador before setting it down. I think outside of that normal range. Am I right about that?
Let's see. Where are we?
Maybe.
Just at the end, the last fingerprint. I think that I think it was out of the set down range. Where isn't there that little extra bubble where if you're really far from Ambassador, even if they have their hands full, you walk a little bit closer, and then when you get inside that bubble, you set it down. I'm just seeing if my etiquette is right at all on this.
See.
I'm not sure exactly how far the range is, but I think you may be right in that that's slightly out of range. Whenever I'm in doubt, though, I just set it down immediately
Right.
because I don't want to get burned on it.
Anyway,
yeah,
pretty
that
good.
first return may be a little bit awkward.
Right.
Or the. Let me look at the line. I wasn't looking at the line. Yeah, that was. I would agree. This last one right here, way too far away.
That's the kind of thing. Is obviously it's a low light, and you'd have to be looking directly for etiquette stuff like that at that point. And even if it was me, and let's say I did know the rules, I probably wouldn't have been looking at that kind of thing. But yeah, hey, that was a great decision, series of decisions after the banana bread didn't take. Cameraman didn't lose his cool. He just went for the fingerprints, went for the purloin, did the real banana bread, and finished on a fingerprint. Didn't even bug as Papa Danger, though he did try.
Yeah, he tried twice and both missed.
Yeah, there was an
Unfortunately.
attempt.
Right.
Yep.
But get Cameraman when he takes control, he gets missions done and got under the radar on that one.
All right, and he's in fact 2 away from pulling off an incredible comeback for a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens here. Varnanas just has to win one of these 2 to secure a win. Find out what happens as Alice and both ready?
Yep, loaded in.
Go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So if you're Varnanas right now, you're sweating because you have been at 6 wins for a while now, and you just need one more to kind of cinch the victory. And giving up 3 games, I believe, in a row.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I think Varnanas is in chat, so she can correct me if I'm wrong. The way that I've generally read Varnanas' plays, when Varnanas is under pressure, she performs excellently as Spy. Varnanas has a very nice, solid Spy performance that I don't think is going to be affected too much. I think that the thing that she's going to have to watch out for is nerves while she's Sniper. So I'm expecting this to be a pretty standard, solid Spy performance right here. But then if it comes back to Sniper, a lot of pressure, especially after the comeback.
Yeah. Starting off pretty much as safely as we can with a white flirt for 34% and an innocent drink take. Means we won't be doing statues anytime soon, but we do get a fingerprint off of it.
Yeah, not that innocent after all.
All right, so this is not the worst banana bread. It's about to get a little bit better though, so I'm guessing right now I would
This
not be
is
able to
a
resist the
very
banana bread.
good banana bread.
And hopefully DA doesn't bail. That would be horrible.
This is
Banana bread.
actually a perfect banana bread.
That's
Everyone
fantastic.
is in conversation, and it's only 3 different conversations. So I think that might be the best ballroom BB I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, that lined up perfectly. I'm astounded that no one else thought it was there's anything else interesting going on. Now, here's the problem. AIs tend to get stuck in conversations for a while. So the fact that there's a lot in conversations until they start splitting up, then you have the emergent side of thing where if you have 3 fairly large conversation circles, they become kind of sticky. When they get smaller, the decision by one AI to leave dramatically affects the other ones, where if you have a conversation of 2 and one leaves, the other one can't decide to stay if no one else joins, and then you start having the scattering effect. Now, it seems to have already kind of broken up a little bit, and it's not too bad. But those conversations, the 3 conversations that were at the DA, are still the ones surviving.
Yes. So unfortunately, 99% flirt. That's not going to be ideal, but I think there's a clear path to victory, and it's flirt at the windows, get possibly a difficult fingerprint at green bookcase, or a normal fingerprint somewhere else, and center statues.
Well, luckily, okay, so here's what we have. We have center statues for Ambassador open after this. So maybe we do a 1 inspect here, set down pretty quickly, go right for that other set of statues. Or, obviously, we also have the chance of the inspect swap. And
Or we just get shot.
Get shot for center statues.
Yeah, I don't know what else it could have been. There was no other. I mean, it wasn't a highlight until that moment.
now the thing is, so the banana bread was great, but it almost kind of bit Varanus because there are so many people in conversations, like I was talking about. Not a lot of people were doing anything else. So there is a banana bread to the point where Cameraman must have felt a little bit behind. And then when snipers feel behind on ballroom, 30 seconds left, center statue, highlight. Yeah, sure, okay.
All right. Anyway, Cameraman manages to bring it to within 1. He's sniping for a draw. That's generally a pretty good position to be in. I mean, obviously you'd rather be Varnanas with the draw locked in at the very least, but we'll see. Cameraman, as of this up to this point, has not won or drawn any games, so this will be a first if he manages.
Yeah.
down to the wire here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because it's going to be DeVito for Cameraman playing for a draw
Ooh.
after a big
Very-
comeback. This is going to be.
DeVito is a very strong spy on this map. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Especially
cover on
against
this
an
map
aggressive
already,
spy.
and he just just stand behind anybody and he becomes invisible. See if he takes any advantage of that in 3, 2, 1, planet.
Ballroom is definitely a place where the spy can do some shenanigans.
Oh, all right. We immediately. Okay, wow, we were already in aggro mode. So this is really interesting. So he's trading a lot of lowlights for this, but maybe could pick one up. It looks like Varnanas is tending to go for the safe lowlights, so didn't get as many as she could have. But that's actually really important because if she extended to try to get a lot of lowlights, she might have accidentally lowlight Cameraman. And we do microfilm already. This is already fun. So one of the things I was going to mention is, so we've already kind of talked about the pressure that's been Varnanas, right? There's been a big comeback at this point, but now on the last game of a comeback, there's a little bit of pressure on both, right? Because Cameraman at this point, are you going to waste this awesome comeback? There's a bit of pressure on the spy to finish, right? To finish, or sorry, not the spy, for the underdog to finish it out.
Yeah. Thing about that BB Cameraman splitting, probably trying to get a low light for the bail. The thing is, because Toby and the Amba are both towards the left side of the party, that's probably where Varnanas is naturally looking, and as a result, more likely to naturally get the BB lowlights on that side of the map. I don't know if she's going to be as confident in any of the lowlights on the right side, and as a result, possibly neglecting to light Cameraman because of that.
Mm. And 2 green action tests on the microfilm. So we are 2 missions in. All right, so right now we have the option of just flirting and all right, we're doing a fake there. Okay.
And a crash. A crash means death.
Cameraman.
Oh no.
So sad.
We were gonna say
That's
such nice things about you, Cameraman.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
We had all these nice things ready for you because you were doing so well, and then did that. Was that his second crash in this set?
That was his second crash.
I mean, Cameraman, you can. There's things other than green tests.
Yeah, it looks like that was a fake BB to cover a purloin. I guess he wasn't happy with the white test though.
Well, anyway, I mean, up until that point, that was pretty good play overall. I mean, that transfer was basically invisible thanks to Alice providing some really good cover.
Yeah.
I mean that this second flirt was maybe unnecessarily far, but I don't know if he was already getting in position for a purloin here. I don't know.
I don't think you purloin in this situation.
I mean,
you have a hard
you shouldn't have
done.
purloined anyway, obviously. But I mean, Cameraman being, that sort of aggressive style and liking to do, hard tells all over the place makes sense. But
there's also the fact that he's Smallman.
Smallman.
The one
that's
character
actually,
whose Toby's animation is different for offering a drink.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can do worse than white purloining as Smallman, it is crashing as Smallman.
Yep. Yeah, there's no doubt when you see Toby standing up that Smallman was the one being offered to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, with that, Varnanas, probably, a little lucky there to have gotten basically a free game handed to her, but we all take those, and it just only happens to us all.
Well, definitely lucky in that there was not much question for the shot, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the nerve-wracking part is there's a tension between you really, 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 really don't want to shoot too early and be wrong, but also you really, really, really don't want to shoot too late. And so it's this problem of which way is the spy going to go? So if the spy's in a high pressure situation, they either might be way too nervous. It basically makes it a bimodal kind of problem, right? It tends to push spies either really aggressive or really passive, generally just in pressure situations, because they'll just kind of mentally commit one way or the other rather than remaining fluid. So as sniper, responding to that is really tough because you know it's probably going to be one of those two. And so there's going to be this really difficult decision where if you have a high suspect but not a certain suspect, the decision whether or not to shoot on that, it's heart-wrenching.
Yeah. It's especially in a high pressure situation, it's a fine balancing act, the shot timing. And shot timing, I think, is something that's incredibly hard to place on a map like Ballroom, where you can have invisible bugs that happen that you have practically no chance of catching at a certain angle. And that's just one mission that the spy has up on you. And if you wait too long for that shot, suddenly missions are completed and you've just thrown away a loss because your almost 100% suspect did one more mission than you thought they did.
Right. And I also just want to mention for those of you watching who have not messed around with when you can bail on the white purloin and not have a crash, you have to wait until your character has turned all the way around. And that is when you can immediately leave. Now, that is also a bit of a hard tell to do it that quickly, but that is the way you get away from Toby as fast as you can without doing a crash animation. I understand I've crashed before where I really want to get away from Toby right after the white test if I think I'm in the blind spot of the sniper, but you have to wait until you turn all the way around. Otherwise, you're just screwing yourself.
Mm-hmm. In any case, still a great set from both players. Some great spy play from both sides. Some unfortunate fake BBs and crashes from both sides as well.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to move into the final set of the morning, evening